Section number 72 of Up One Pair of Stairs of My Bookhouse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Crystal Treader. Up One Pair of Stairs of My Bookhouse. Edited by Olive Beaupre Miller. Piccola. Gay was little Piccola. Busy was little Piccola. Her father was often away from home, fishing far out at sea. Then she and her mother were left all alone in their little stone cottage in a small village in France. Piccola helped keep the cottage clean. She scoured the pots and pans. She tended the geraniums that bloomed in the windows. She dragged in great armfuls of wood for the fire. "My little Piccola is busy as the bee," said her mother. "My little Piccola is gay as the lark," said her father. When her work was done, Piccola raced with the other children through the narrow streets of the village, her little wooden shoes going rat-a-tat-too on the cobble-stones. Or she climbed up high on the rocks that rose behind the town and looked far out to sea where the sailboats danced in the breeze. "A jolly good comrade is Piccola," her little playmates said. But one year the yellowed leaves fell from the trees, and the snow began to fall. There came to Piccola's home a time of sadness. Poor had the fishing season been the summer before, and the good father had laid little money by to meet the needs for the winter. He came in from the stormy sea, to go out no more till the spring returned, and he could get no work to earn money through the winter. "I do not know how we shall ever get on until spring," he mourned. But Piccola was none the less happy. "God gives us our daily bread," she said, and her little heart was grateful for each day's simple food. As the weeks slipped by and their little store of money grew smaller and smaller, the Christmas tide drew near. "What shall we do for Piccola?" said the mother. "We are so poor, we cannot buy her even one small gift." "No," said her father, "not even one small gift." Now close by the church, past which Piccola often romped in her play, there stood a mass of old grey stone, carved with quaint figures that told of the life of Jesus. Stiff and queerly fashioned were the figures, but they had been carved by those who loved the story, and Piccola loved it too, and she carefully traced out all the tale. She said to herself with a heart full of reverence, it was Jesus who taught men to know the good God as their Father, to let His goodness shine in their hearts, and to love one another. So, when the Christmas drew near and men made ready to celebrate the coming of Jesus Christ to men, Piccola had no thought but that all the earth must rejoice. "I love the good Christmas tide," she cried. "But Piccola," said her mother, "do you not know that no gifts can come to you this year?" "Good gifts must come to all with Christmas," the child made answer, simply. "Poor little one," said the mother in a low voice to the father. "If we only had one sou to spare to buy her the least little gift." So the father and mother were sorrowful, but Piccola was happy. On the night before Christmas, Piccola sang as she swept up the hearth, and when her share of the evening's work was done, she seized her father and mother each by the hand. "Let us go out and be merry," she cried. So they left their dingy little cottage and went out into the village. All the windows were brightly ablaze with lights and hung with festoons and gay Christmas baubles. So close to the street were the little stone houses that Piccola and her mother and father could see all the happiness and Christmas cheer within. "Every house but ours is gay," said the father, but Piccola did not even hear him. She was laughing with joy at the joy she saw. Every gay festoon, every gay Christmas bauble, All the happiness and cheer in every house they passed was hers to enjoy. She was richer far than those who had only one cottage with festooned windows. So they went on to the very last house in the village. There they saw 3 little children carefully setting their wooden shoes by the fireplace to be filled with Christmas gifts. "Tomorrow they will be full of goodies and full of toys," rang their shrill little voices. "I shall set out my shoe too," cried Piccola, with shining eyes. "Piccola, there can be no Christmas gifts for you," her mother repeated, half sobbing. But still Piccola did not hear. Too firm was her faith that every child shared alike in the love of the good God, and none could be shut out from receiving his good gifts. By the dim candle light she made ready for bed. In her heart was all the joy of the merriment she had seen in the village. Last of all she set by the hearth, where the fire was dying down, her little wooden shoe. "Through all the year I have been as good as I know how," she said, "so I shall find something good here tomorrow." Then Piccola crept happily into bed, but her mother and father sat long by the embers, and looked sorrowfully at the waiting shoe they had no gifts to fill. Slowly the night wore away and the grey dawn came. Piccola opened her eyes. "Christmas is come!" she cried, and sprang from her bed. Eagerly, expectantly, she crept to her little shoe. Her mother and father heard her and listened with bated breath. "Another minute," they thought, "and she will cry out in disappointment." But gay on the air rang a sound of gladness. "See! Oh, see! My shoe is full!" Astonished, father and mother hurried into the room. There stood Piccola with shining face, caressing her shoe, and cosily resting in it lay a bright-eyed little bird. "It fell down the chimney and into her shoe," her father said, but Piccola did not heed him. The bird had come as her Christmas gift, she knew, and every wish of her heart was satisfied and fulfilled. All day long she warmed the bird and cuddled it and fed it, till at last her father and mother, seeing how happy she was, caught her joy and were happy too. So Christmas came to Piccola rich and full, because Christmas was always in her heart. End of section 72. Recording by Crystal Tretter.